Italian Prime Minister marched into the White House this morning to make President Clinton fully aware of his views on this case. Public opinion in Italy is outraged. The dead
I cannot understand my sister is guilty.
Well, I'm very husband. Today it was his second funeral.
Her husband was among the 20 killed in when their ski gondola crashed into an Italian mountainside just over a year ago. The cable had been cut by a US Marine aircraft flying too fast and too... Court-martial told the pilot's altimeter had malfunctioned and the ski lift had not been marked on the map he was issued by the US authorities. For the captain, Richard Ashby, that was enough to convince a jury of fellow Marines that it was a tragic accident and not an act of deliberate recklessness.
It's been a tragedy for all involved. My heart and my thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the victims of this tragedy.
Ashby could still be jailed for having obstructed justice during the investigation, would do little to assuage the anger in Europe. In Italy, there are renewed demands for the closure of US bases. Officials here are worried about damage done to NATO. James Mates, ITN, United States.
Tony Blair warned today that the British election be fought on and not national identity. He was speaking in Glasgow, where he said devolution was right for Scotland and right for Britain too. Here's our Scotland correspondent, Smith.
It was a stout defence of the Union delivered to a special party Glasgow, designed to party acts out in fighting mood, battle that's happening with the Nationals. Minister of policy initiatives which he said had been good for and good for Scotland, and was he in devolution. Our opponent builds back instead of is fixed. Politics that opens the minute. So these companies of campaign say to you, be proud, be confident that we are, of course, and our country. SNP and Labour chose to new educate the nationalists poured scorn on the Prime Minister's contribution to the debate. Say that they should be subsidising players playing Scotland. One of the most valuable assets. It's quite clear that most people in Scotland think he should keep his nose out of the Scottish elections. But the Prime Minister's speech will help answer the critics who say Labour's campaign has been too negative, too dependent on bashing the Nats. And his supporters will point to the latest opinion poll, which shows Labour marginally ahead. Harry Smith, ITN, Glasgow.
Now you might think Britain has been left behind in the space race, but one man determined to catch up. Steve Bennett today took one small step, but a giant leap towards putting a person into space. Andrew Simmons reports.
Bennett was a technician working a toothpaste, but now rocket, everything's A-OK. And here's his latest creation, Tempest, about to be launched from the Lancashire coast. The rocket soared to 3,000 feet, all according to...
We've done it. We're another few inches closer to making our dream a reality.
That dream took a bad knock last attempt. Less than a year ago on Dartmoor, everything went wrong. But this time, Mr. Bennett's invention came back down to Earth safely. The rocket man and his family believe that one will put the first person into space in a homemade rocket. Andrew Simmons, ITN.
In motor racing, world champion Mika Hakkinen kicked off the start of the Formula One season by walking away from a 100-mile-an-hour crash in Australia. During a practice session in Melbourne, he spun off the track and smashed into a wall. He emerged unscathed. 4 years ago, he nearly died in a crash in Adelaide. A reminder now of the changes to ITV News from Monday. I'll be joining Julia Somerville for the new look ITV Lunchtime News at 12:30. Trevor MacDonald will present the new ITV half-hour evening news at 6:30. And Dermot Murnahan will be bringing you the new ITV Nightly News at 11 o'clock. And on the final News at 10 tonight, a look back at the programme's finest moments from Norman Rees.
Always the search for exclusive coverage. News at 10 at Dawson's Field when Palestinian terrorists blew up 3 hijacked planes. Michael Brunson's first interview with Maggie Thatcher after her resignation. Trevor MacDonald meeting Saddam Hussein.
A deliberate and sustained assault on the old city.
Paul Davis, the only reporter at the siege of Dubrovnik.
On tonight's last News at 10, and that brings us to the end of the last early evening news. I've been in this seat for the last 7 years, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege bringing you the news at 5:40. I hope you'll join us all at our new times with our ITN bulletins on ITV next week. But for now, from me, from programme editor Phil Moger, and the entire early evening news team, for the last time on the early evening news. Bye-bye.
It's been a cold day everywhere, with eastern England bearing the brunt of a thoroughly wet day. Things should slowly improve there. But for all of us for the weekend, it's a cold one with some wintry showers around. The good news is we are expecting milder weather to push in from the southwest early next week, along with some cloud and rain. Now, our Met Over satellite sequence shows clouds spiralling around the centre of the low in the North Sea, feeding showers down from the north. Thicker areas of cloud there on the eastern side of the country, threatening rain, sleet and snow tonight as well as Saturday night. So as far as tonight's actual weather goes, we continue with scattered wintry showers around coastal areas, and then we've an area of sleet and snow pushing into Scotland and the north of England, down into the Midlands as well, with some small accumulation on those higher routes to watch out for. Some breaks in the cloud further south and west, and that indicates dipping temperatures, some frost and icy patches on those roads to watch out for tomorrow morning. So we go into tomorrow for the northeast. It's a grey start to the day, then brighter weather pushing down from the north. Basically, we're all in the same boat tomorrow. It's very much a case of a mixture of wintry showers as well as some sunny intervals, and those wintry showers not really amounting to anything very much at all. Now, temperatures are stuck at around the 7 mark or 45 tomorrow, feeling better in the east with lighter winds, but the winds becoming, well, touching gale force later on in the north there. A quick look at Sunday, and for Scotland and the north of England, dull, wet and windy all day, brighter weather further south, and then with the first sign of that milder weather pushing into the southwest later on. And that's all from me. Join me later if you can after the news at 10. Here's the weather summary.
Power Gen. Power, whatever the weather.